You're probably wondering what I'm messing around with now. Uh, I'm on the quest, really on the quest to solve this problem with dim license plate lights. This is a national problem now. We've got, just a situation where, too many people are driving with dim license plate lights. And just, a couple weeks ago, my mechanic got pulled over by a policeman because the lights were dim. And so we talked about, okay, how are we going to solve this problem? I'm not convinced that just installing LEDs up in here are going to solve the problem. And I certainly don't want myself or any members of my family to get pulled over by the police because the license lights are too dim. So I've been really working on this. This is a big issue, and I think this will be the beginning of a whole new kit series for me. And I'll come up with solutions that can help you solve problems with your dim license plate lights. This isn't too bad. I mean, you can see the license plate, but I decided that why not get something that can really light up the license plate? Then you won't have any problem. Won't ever get pulled over because, once again, this is a really big nationwide problem that's really got a lot of police departments concerned. A lot of resources are being dedicated to getting the cars off the road with really dim license plate lights. So this is the solution. I went ahead and I played around with a couple lights, but I wanted something with a wide beam. I wanted something that had a bracket that I could mount right here. And the idea is, in my mind anyway, is to get the light so that it shines up on the plate, not just down on the plate. I mean, directly on the plate. And then no matter what's going on, even if it's raining, if it's snowing, if it's foggy, the police will always be able to see the license plate number because, that's the key. So check this out. This is what I think is the absolute answer to this problem right here. All right, there you go. See that? Look. What's so cool about this light is I can move it right in here and I could put it on the bracket and I could tip it up. And the important thing, the real important thing, that it shines most intently on the numbers. You want to be able to see, of course, the tab. Now, this is a collector plate, so it's not a big deal, but they need to see the date tab, but the priority here is to see the number. So I'm going to pull this light back. I'm going to bolt it on right here to the bumper, and then when I turn my headlights on, look at that. You can see that license plate. I'm not going to have any more problems. I think this is the best solution. I know what some of you might be thinking. Kent, have you lost your rocker? Or Kent, have you jumped the shark here recently? What in the world are you talking about? I know some of you probably thought I was serious. No, I was not serious. But I do have to deal with some dim lights on this 300 SD. Take a look at this. You would swear that, these lights aren't even on. I don't think this is a dangerous situation. I do think in the darkness of night, you would be able to see this license plate just fine. But I'm going to go ahead, since I don't want the owner of this car, who happens to be my daughter, to get pulled over, I'm going to go ahead and pull these old incandescent bulbs out and replace them with our LEDs. So look at here. I got my new super mini light set up here, and I'm going to, I got my screwdrivers in my tray here. I'm going to go ahead and pull these two lights out, and I'll replace them with LEDs, and then I'm going to come back and show you the difference. At this age, I don't even know how I would be able to do this job without two of my favorite sidekicks. I call these my sidekicks. This first one is my kneeling creeper. I can even keep some of my tools here on my kneeling creeper. The other one is this mini super light that I just developed. It's got a rotating tray on it, and I can tilt these very powerful LEDs and get up in here and look at where I'm working. And I ran into some problems, believe it or not, trying to get the screws out. The screws were heavily corroded in those license plate lights. So I had to work them out, lubricate them, turn them in, work them out, turn them in. By that time, my back's aching. If I didn't have my rolling or my kneeling creeper sidekick, I'd have to go take a nap, all right? But after we got the lights out, one of the tabs broke off. So I had to bring out all my special little screws and nuts, and we had to drill it and put a screw and nut in there for the grounding wires and tab, and now we're getting it all back together. But I'll tell you, having the rotating tray on this light is really handy. I've got the screws right here. I went ahead and I washed these lenses. This is something you really want to do. If you look at the original bulbs, they're pretty old and dark and black. So I would recommend, even if you aren't going to put LEDs in your old Mercedes, I would recommend you go back there and replace the license plate lights, because it'll get those screws worked out, it'll get the lenses clean, you'll be able to check your gaskets. It's really kind of a preventative measure, because let me tell you, if you broke off one of these screws, this is a chrome metal part, and if you broke off one of those screws that's tapped up into it, I don't know how you'd ever tap and drill it out. You'd probably have to get another chrome piece off a used 116. So I'm going to finish getting this cover on now. I got the lights in. You can see how on the 116 chassis, once you pull the lens off, you can drop the bracket down. You actually have to get a little screwdriver in there to pry it down. All right, you can pry it down like that, and you can replace the bulb. You don't have a lot of room to work, and that's why it's so nice to have this light shining up into that cavity. But I've got these LED license plate lights with heat sink in. I'm going to get this back on, and then I'm going to come back and we'll turn the lights off in the shop, and we'll take another look at how this lights up the license plate. Well, that's more like it, right? That's what we really want. I mean, come on, that big light was just a little bit too much, but these LEDs, look at how nice that looks. Nice, even. This is so much better. I'm just going to, in review right now, show you a picture before with the incandescent original bulbs, and now I'm going to show you a close-up of after with these new LEDs. So if you're concerned at all about getting pulled over, I'd highly recommend you install this style of lights in your license plate fixture. Now I'm working on a couple of different LED kits right now, and they'll be up on my website probably by mid-April of 2016. So if you're watching this video initially, they may not be ready to go, but I'm trying to come up with some kits. I've been experimenting with a lot of different lights. They'll include dome lights, license plate lights, glove box lights, you know, bottom of the door lights, and so on. All the interior lights, I'm trying to come up with a kit which will be kind of universal to a number of different chassis. So just check the description below in this video, and I'll put a notice when those light kits are available.